Chapter 21 The Failings. Well, where do I start? I have failed at everything in life, and I am left with absolutely nothing. The Olympic Games in Sydney this year 2000, was supposed to be my year, my games. I was meant to win the races and come out on top as the golden girl, shining in every light on every stage and loving the whole atmosphere. This was my life story. The media were making a big thing of the games by supporting everything about it and the team. The best games ever, apparently. The whole country was excited about this competition, but in my house, nobody paid it any attention and nobody spoke about it. A broken dream for me that my family tried to protect. I knew when the team was flying to Sydney. I knew where the holding camp was, and I knew everything about the Olympic site. I was meant to be on that team. I was supposed to fly out there with them to compete. It was my dream too. Instead, I sat in my room with Spring, unable to even switch on the TV to support the team. The thought of the games and my seat on that plane made me cry and cry again and again. That was my Olympic Games. I failed all my AS level exams in the year 2000, the year I was meant to shine. There was no point doing these exams as I got nothing from going through the stress and anxiety caused by them. The exam papers were read to me by a school helper, and I was given an extra 15 minutes in case I needed more time. These little things seemed incredibly futile, and the teachers may as well have said to me, "You are going to fail anyway, so we will isolate you from the rest of the school and then read the questions to you." They were just trying to be helpful, but I just felt very stupid. I felt humiliated and made to feel like I was a baby. I am 18 years old. I am neither stupid nor a baby. They might as well have shot me down. I used to be so clever, but now I'm left with this. Horrendous. All the pupils went back to Corsham School one morning to collect their exam results for their AS level exams. I didn't know what to expect. Opening the letter labelled Stephanie Millward exam results had left me like listening to a judge telling me whether I was going to be given a life in prison or was going to be given another chance. The results were obviously the former option, and it just made me cry again. My sister Christy had also received her letter, which had awarded her a very successful set of GCSE results. I had turned my back on everyone and was walking away from all the excited students who were laughing and giggling. I just wanted to die. I had done all the revisions, so I knew all the work. How did I get nothing except a big fat fail? Maybe if I walked onto the road, somebody would run me over. Maybe I would just die and then nobody would have to find out my marks. No one would have to listen to me speak or have to pick me up if I fall again. They will all be better off without me. I have to get away. I have to go. No one can help me. I am useless. Rubbish. "Stephanie, we are going to the pub for a drink. Would you like to come?" my mum asked. Does it look like I want to go to the pub? I had been awarded all fails. What would I want to celebrate about that? I have failed. I am useless. Actually, maybe I can drink too much alcohol, which will kill me. I must have makeup all down my face from my tears. "Stephanie?" My mum was right beside me and had put her arm around my shoulder in her caressing way. "I can take you home if you want, but you might feel better if you have a quick drink." This was the start of my coverings up. I told everyone I hadn't done quite as well as expected, and I needed to work harder to get the A-level exam results that I wanted. On one occasion, soon after the exam results, I had gone to the doctor's where I asked for an urgent appointment. I was given a session, and while I was sat in the waiting room, I felt like a convict. Everyone kept looking at me as though I had done something wrong. When I walked into the doctor's room, I sat down and cried. The pain throughout my body was extreme, and everything hurt. It took me what felt like about an hour to stop crying. And then the doctor asked if I was okay. Stupid question, really. She started me on antidepressants, 2 a day for the first week, and then I was to return for another appointment. I went home and took 5 tablets. Maybe these could help me. Maybe they could kill me. I read the little leaflet that came with the tablets. Do not exceed the stated dose. Yep, it could kill me. The tablets helped me to sleep, and this was a benefit, as at least I stopped crying. I slept for the whole night and woke the next morning with almost a smile on my face. I took Spring for a walk just up the road. I was enjoying the sun, which shone wonderfully in the sky, and I was thinking about going up to the shop and buying an ice cream. Yes, what a good idea! I told Spring what I was going to do, and I think she agreed that it was a brilliant idea. We started our walk, but like a lightning bolt from the sky, I could feel the pain all down my leg just before it fell sideways, bringing me down with it. What? I had such a nice feeling and expectations for this walk. Why has it hit me again now? I steadied myself to try to get up, and a huge push from my arms, and I managed to stand. What do I do now? I phoned my mum and asked her to come and get me, which she did. My mum was used to coming to save the day for me, and never once did I think about her. It was a few days later when I was sat eating my dinner, when my mum asked, "How are you getting on with the antidepressants?" "How does she know I'm on antidepressants?" "Huh?" was the remark. I went to the doctor's and got antidepressants for myself, and the doctor mentioned it. "Oh, she's on antidepressants because of me. I have made somebody so upset that they have to get medication." "Sorry," I said. "It's not your fault," she said, but it was. I continued on the tablets, as they were supposed to make me feel better. They didn't really, so I visited the doctors a week later. I asked her why, and she replied that they need longer to work. I decided to have one large amount of antidepressants to see if they made me feel better, so I took 10 before I fell asleep. The next day I woke up later than normal, and I was in a bad mood. I started moaning about everything and cried on a number of occasions. The overdose didn't help at all. I went back to the normal 2 tablets a day dose and decided that I needed a job to try to do something in this life of mine. I went to the cooperative shop just up the road, and they accepted my CV. They invited me for an interview, which I went to with a smile on my face. I might be better than useless if I start earning some money. I was given a job which I loved doing. All I had to do was fill the shelves, tidy the shop, and serve the customers. This job just gave me a wonderful sense of achievement, and I always felt excited about the next day at work. It is a shame that this relatively easy life didn't stay so simple. A whole year later, Christy and I went to Tenerife with some of Christy's friends. I hoped I would be well on this trip, but instead I forgot some of my injections, had my purse and all my money stolen, struggled with the MS, and Christy and I just fought the whole time. She had obviously given up being nice about my mood swings and my bad temperedness. It's fair enough, really, looking back at it. While we were away, Christy was meant to receive her AS level results, and I was meant to receive my A level results. I was worried sick. I had failed all my AS level exams, so I was worried that I would have the same results this time. My mum had to go to collect the results, and she read them to us over the phone. "Stephanie, you've done quite well. An E for biology and 2 N's, nearly, for economics and maths." "What?" Fail, and an even bigger, fatter fail. I felt so sick. This wasn't meant to happen. Christy spoke to Mum after me. Christy had received a B grade for the AS level exam she had done in biology. It felt as though she had sprinkled salt onto my cuts to make them hurt more. Why did I have to get sick? I was the clever one in the family. Christy was the fashion person. I was the brains. Why did she have to get the grade that I should have got? I got nothing. I obviously wasn't going to go to university this year because I wasn't good enough. Other people were going to have a year out too, so it seemed a viable excuse. But I wasn't ever going to go to university. I failed. I had also failed at swimming, and so had to hear the adverts on the TV telling all the amazing Sydney 2000 Olympic Games. Apparently, the fireworks display had been wonderful and all the athletes had competed well. I should have been there. I should have gone to Australia with the team. I was good enough. I should have gone. Instead, I had sat in my room with my little dog crying. I hadn't watched the Olympics, as it had felt too painful, and it had stirred up too many sorrowful images in my mind. Their joy should have been my joy. I should have swum well in my first Olympics. I should have celebrated afterwards. I should have gone to the first Olympics of the new century. Why was it all so rudely ripped away from me? Why had my life been left in such a shattered mess? I asked these 2 questions many times, wondering the huge question: why me? If I had believed in God a little more, would I have got MS? Maybe it was my fault then, as I never go to church. This must be the reason. Or maybe the devil is playing a nasty trick on me to see if I do believe in God, or maybe he or it just wants me to go to hell to live in misery with him. Maybe in a former life I killed somebody, and I'm therefore going to pay for it in this lifetime. Maybe I deserve it. These thoughts ran through my mind many times during a day, and I started believing that I deserved it, and that I therefore had to put up with all the nasty things because I had been so awful in another life. It was my fault, and I must therefore pay for it. Spring stayed beside me all the time, and as a companion I couldn't have asked for a better source of comfort. She was loving all day and all night. She was my angel, who was probably sent from God to go through this awful time with me. I wrote a large number of poems, many of which I screwed up and threw away, and a few of which I look back on occasions and think about why I had thought such pitiful thoughts. I had been incredibly depressed with the loss of my swimming dream, and with the realization that I had an illness that would be with me for the rest of my life. An incredibly broken heart and an incredibly broken dream.